It's Thursday, July 10th. In the headlines, Jamaica and Barbados removed from EU high-risk countries list. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz confirms a full rollout of rural school bus plan by September. In business news, Lasco Finance Services Limited changes leadership. Regionally, St. Kitts and Nevis Agriculture and Small Business. In sports, Cricket West Indies expands reach with La Federación de Cricket de las Americas initiative. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica and Barbados have been officially removed from the European Union's list of high-risk countries with deficiencies in anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing frameworks. The decision follows Jamaica's earlier removal from the FATF grey list and comes after Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness raised concerns about delays in the process. Prime Minister Holness welcomed the move as a major milestone for the countries and CARICOM, emphasizing regional unity and strengthened partnerships with the EU. Dr. Holness said in a post on his X platform, quote, "We have been actively advocating for such a decision, one which reflects the reality of the hard work we have undertaken to strengthen our financial systems. This is yet another demonstration of the strength of our partnership with the EU, a partnership I am committed to deepening even further as a chair of CARICOM." End quote. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith also praised the EU's recognition of Jamaica's reform efforts. The delisting is expected to boost investor confidence and ease international financial transactions. Ambulance drivers from the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department have returned to work after a 2-day sick-out, protesting delayed overtime payments, poor working conditions, and calls for job upgrades. The action disrupted key health services. Emergency talks involving the Ministry of Labour, Jamaica Association of Local Government Officers, and the Southeast Regional Health Authority, as well as health department officials, led to an agreement for drivers to resume duties. A follow-up meeting is scheduled for September 10. During the disruption, Sarah used private ambulance services to maintain operations. Jamaican students in rural communities are one step closer to having safer, more reliable school transportation. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says the government's rural school bus system is right on schedule for a full rollout in September 2025, with over 100 purpose-built buses expected to arrive by the end of this month. More in this report from Denida Rodney.
Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, Minister of Transport Darrell Vaz confirmed that 26 buses are already in the country, with more arriving in phases throughout July.
I wish to reiterate that the plans for the rollout of the school bus system remain firmly on track for September morning 2025. 26 buses are in Jamaica. 14 additional buses arrived on Saturday of last week. 4 more are en route to Jamaica, and 18 more will be delivered on July 14th, and 28 each will be delivered on the 22nd of July and the 30th and the 29th of July. So, in essence, all 110 school buses will be here by the end of July.
He says the new fleet of school buses expected by the end of July will include a mix of sizes tailored for Jamaica's diverse terrain.
Among the batch of buses will be 47 small units, 32-seater, with engines designed to navigate remote areas, 38 mid-sized buses, which have 54 seats, and 25 buses designed to seat 72 people each. So the configuration is 3 different types of buses, obviously because of the assessment of the terrain that we will be traversing.
Minister Vaz also noted the financial relief this will bring to families.
The system is aimed at addressing the significant inconvenience and danger faced by our children when they travel to and from school, and will also help to address high transportation costs faced by parents, in many times causing them to have to decide which child they send to school on a particular day.
The Transport Minister emphasized that this is just phase 1 of a broader plan.
The current activity represents phase 1 of the system. We intend within 2 years to import an additional 200 to 300 buses to serve the additional 625 schools with a student population of over 300,000. It is in the intention of the government to actively pursue the possibility of the introduction of not only refurbished buses, but also new buses, as we are doing for the JUTC.
The rural school bus system is expected to not only improve access to education, but also reduce absenteeism and create a safer, more reliable journey to and from school for thousands of students. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
Jamaica has secured broad regional support in its bid to seek a landmark legal ruling on the historical legality of slavery and the United Kingdom's responsibility for reparations. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, who currently chairs the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, announced the move during a press conference on Tuesday at the conclusion of the 49th meeting of the Conference of CARICOM Heads of Government, held at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. The formal petition will request a legal opinion from the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, focusing on 3 main questions.
To seek a formal ruling from the Privy Council on whether the Atlantic enslavement of Africans was lawful under common law and whether local laws supporting it were invalid, and whether or not slavery as practiced in Jamaica up to 1838 constituted a crime against humanity under international law, and whether, if so, the United Kingdom bears a legal obligation to provide reparations to Jamaica and its people for the enduring harm caused.
The Prime Minister described the petition as a bold step toward justice, marking a significant moment for both Jamaica and the wider Caribbean reparatory justice movement.
Through the use of this legal route to challenge the historical legality of slavery and assert claims for reparations, this petition will mark a watershed moment for CARICOM and the broader global movement for reparatory justice.
The initiative also aligns with the ongoing efforts of the CARICOM Reparations Commission, established in 2013 to advocate for reparative justice from former colonial powers. In a historic achievement for Jamaica, Justice Marva Macdonald Bishop has been appointed to lead an important international tribunal in the United Kingdom. This marks a significant milestone for the country's judiciary. Marlon Samuels tells us more.
Preserving justice.
Justice Marva Macdonald Bishop, President of the Court of Appeal in Jamaica, has been appointed as the President of the Commonwealth Secretariat Arbitral Tribunal. Her appointment is effective August 1, 2025. This is the first time a Jamaican has been appointed to oversee this tribunal, which handles disputes involving Commonwealth organizations and their staff. Her appointment is seen as a recognition of her leadership and expertise within the legal community. The tribunal's work plays a crucial role in resolving international contractual and employment disputes. It's also charged with ensuring fairness and adherence to legal standards. Jamaica's judiciary is reportedly proud of her achievement, which highlights the global recognition of the island's legal talent. For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Lasco Financial Services Limited has advised that by mutual agreement, Mrs. Jacinth Hall Tracy, Managing Director of Lasco Financial Services Limited, has resigned. The directors have agreed with her that she will formally relinquish her function on December 31, 2025. Lasco Finance has further advised that Mrs. Hall Tracy will be now jointly responsible for the operation with Mrs. Charlene Williams, who has been appointed the general manager of the company. The Bank of Jamaica is reporting net profit of $20.5 billion for the year to date, January to June 2025. Analysis by RJR News shows that this net profit is based on total assets of $1.2 trillion, up from $1.1 trillion for the similar period last year. The increase was largely driven by a jump in the central bank's foreign assets, which climbed to $945.7 billion as at June 25, up from $820.9 billion a year earlier. But the bank's local assets declined to $241.3 billion in June this year, down from $269.7 billion in June last year. For the trading period ending July 9, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 1,912,778 units traded, representing 22.18% of market sales volume. Investment firm Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 803,640 units traded, representing 9.32% of market sales volume. Caribbean financial conglomerate NCB Financial Group Limited with 758,939 units traded, representing 8.80% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On July 9, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $59.64 million purchased and US $48.84 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $2.07 per dollar, selling the US at $161.06 and buying the US at $158.99. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $8.32 per transaction, with selling at $118.96 and buying at $212.71. The British pound yielded Forex traders $11 in profits, with selling at $220.67 and buying at $209.67. For our credit report tip of the day, if you're serious about buying property, start getting your credit score in shape and lining up your funding sources. Before you even apply for a mortgage, take 3 key steps. First, review your credit report for errors. Second, pay down high interest debt to improve your score. And 3, explore personal lines of credit or business credit options. These moves will help you handle essential upfront costs like land surveys, architectural drawings, soil tests, and permits, so that you're financially ready when it's time to build or buy. When you're building something from nothing and you're moving from financial recovery to financial resilience. As a professional woman over the age of 45, rebuilding your finances at that age doesn't have to feel overwhelming. It can be grounding, intentional, and even joyful. Start today with 3 simple steps to make money tracking less stressful and more soulful. First, choose a beautiful, calming space to sit. Add flowers, light a candle, and put on soft music. Then open your money app or spreadsheet and take a deep breath before you begin. As you track your spending, add gratitude beside each expense. Think about what did it bring into your life. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, trade ties between Nigeria and St. Kitts and Nevis are gaining ground. Agriculture and Small Business Minister Samal Duggins says discussions are now turning into action, with plans underway for regular air and sea cargo links. He says the goal is to build the infrastructure needed to support long-term trade between Africa and the Caribbean. SKN Newsline's Glenn Bart reports.
Minister Samal Duggins, who has responsibility for ministries of agriculture and small business, believes progress is being made in the build-out of relations between Nigeria and St. Kitts and Nevis. At a media event 8 July 2024, the minister was questioned about plans needed to facilitate tangible advances towards the facilitation of trade, inclusive of the need to build out infrastructure to facilitate transport and product support and development. On these matters, the minister gave his response.
We signed the Memorandum of Understanding in March. 10 weeks after, we saw the first plane landing here. So again, here we have moved from point A to point B. We are now talking about moving from point B onward. Part of that is ensuring that we have regular transport between the islands. So now we are looking to establish regular flights, and we are also looking to establish sea trade, cargo moving back and forth. The development of that is also to ensure that we build in the infrastructure to facilitate such large cargo shipments, ports, storage. So that's another point. But at the fundamental base of it, it is we started in March. 10 weeks after that in March, we saw real tangible outcomes. Now we are moving from where we are to even further tangible outcomes. And these are the things that are developing. Now, this started at this point 14 weeks ago, 14 weeks, and we are talking about tangible outcomes from conversation to what we've seen so far. So it's not just what you saw as a starting point. It started before that. The discussion started in March when we went to the Caribbean Summit, the PM, myself, and the rest of the delegation. So we are now seeing the strides that's taking us from one stage to another. But the ultimate goal is to establish regular trade between the continent of Africa and the Caribbean and Americas.
It is understood that effective development of trading activity between the two countries will require significant investment in air and seaports, marine transportation, as well as storage facilities on St. Kitts. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Enterprising Barbadians are being urged to cash in on Carifesta 15. Festival Director Carol Roberts says the regional showcase will open up money-making opportunities for local businesses, large and small, as thousands of visitors flock to the island. While tight-lipped on the cost of hosting the festival, she insists the economic benefits for Barbadians will be significant. Speaking at a media briefing, Ms. Roberts also encouraged media partners to help tell the full Carifesta story, promising full access to key information.
A call for transport providers And so, the big transport companies will apply, but so too will a fella that has a coach in Brereton and St. Philip who can transport 36 people. And for 10 days, he is going to have guaranteed work. Seamstresses have to make them 500 costumes for those 500 stilt walkers. And so they will have work. So yes, I could tell you the festival costs $1 million. It does not. But I'm also committing to you to giving you the story a bit later in the festival, when I can tell you how much it costs, but also show you the areas on the return on investment. Access granted. Whatever you want and whatever bit of information you want, yes, that is what we are here to do. So I invite you to partner with us in every way possible, every way meaningful, and every way beneficial, not only to Barbados, but to the region and to the people of the region, because we deserve it. Because this is a moment where, out of the last several years of climate change, economic anxiety, political anxiety and disruption, as Bob said, wars and rumors of wars, in this little part of the globe, there is something happening and something that will explode from August 22nd to 31st.
The United States of America has dedicated efforts to supporting the Guyana Police Force and local and international observers for the regional and general elections. During an interview with reporters on the sidelines of an event on Wednesday, U.S. Ambassador Nicole Theriot said the force reached out for this support. The U.S. Embassy will also have about 50 persons available to support observers on September 1.
Actually, it was just a result of a request from the GPF that this was something that they could use some assistance in, and we're happy to provide it. As you know, our elections, no matter how contentious they might be, they're always peaceful for the most part. And so we do have a lot of expertise in that in the United States, so we were very happy to help. We were hoping to bring back the NYPD because there's already that wonderful partnership between the New York Police Department and the government of the Guyana Police Force. But unfortunately, they were unable to travel until September, and that won't help us much with an election on September 1st. So we reached out to Las Vegas and to Miami-Dade, and observers coming from the OAS, and we assisted with the embedded advisors in GCOM that have taken their positions up last week. They're from the UNDP. We assisted with that, although the funding did come from the UK for that. So we're playing a role, and we're coordinating amongst all of the missions. We're coordinating with the private sector commission. Anyone who is doing election observation or CARICOM as well. We're trying to ensure that we're all working together so that we're not redundant, and that hopefully every polling station in the country has international observers.
Artificial intelligence will be harnessed in the quest for greater efficiencies in Antigua and Barbuda's criminal justice system. New AI tools are being billed as game-changing, offering a range of benefits from legal research to real-time support for police. Shanakisa Francis reports.
Artificial intelligence is not to be feared, but to be understood and embraced. That's the message from Richard Wall, Chief Technology Officer of the Caribbean Agency for Justice Solutions. He says many of the fears around AI stem from misunderstanding the technology.
Once you understand the technology, you start realizing that some of the same digital transformation fears we had during the internet revolution is the same that we have for AI.
Wall further explains how Caribbean developed tools like Ada, Judy, Maya, and Lexify are already helping courts, police, and legal drafters across the region. Ada does legal research, Judy drafts court orders, Maya guides police through complex laws, and Lexify helps update legislation. He emphasizes that Antigua and Barbuda is well positioned to benefit from these tools and is not being left behind.
We are contributing to some of the greatest innovations in AI. CAJ as an organization was the first organization in the Caribbean to have an AI solution that's being used in an apex court like the CCJ. And that was done all inside of the Caribbean. And so I think part of the issue of the fear of feeling left behind is less an issue of is the technology reachable and more an issue of identity.
He praised Attorney General Sir Steadroy Benjamin's ongoing support, noting Antigua's involvement could help position it as a regional leader in AI-powered justice reform. Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
In sports, we're at the crease with cricket. Cricket West Indies has announced plans to establish La Federación de Cricket de las Americas, a new regional body aimed at accelerating cricket development across the Americas. The move follows an official visit by CWI President Dr. Kishore Shallow to Lima, Peru, highlighting Cricket West Indies' commitment to expanding the support beyond the Caribbean.
The proposed body, FICA, is envisioned as a unifying platform for cricket development across the Americas, with CWI positioned to guide its establishment and operation as the hemisphere's only full member of the International Cricket Council. The initiative reflects CWI's expanding role beyond the Caribbean, as it seeks to cultivate stronger cricketing ties and infrastructure across Central, South, and North America. CWI has identified significant growth opportunities in emerging cricket nations, particularly in South America. Brazil, which boasts 72,000 registered players, most of them women under professional contracts, has emerged as a key example of the sport's untapped potential in the region. Other countries such as Mexico, Colombia, and Argentina have also demonstrated strong interest and momentum toward development. CWI is already partnering with nations such as the Bahamas and Bermuda and has included youth teams from the USA in its Rising Stars Under-19 tournament. In November, 4 Caribbean teams will travel to Peru to compete in the Bolivarian Games, marking cricket's debut in the event. The sport is also set to feature in the 2027 Pan American Games. FICA is poised to strengthen cricket across the Americas and cement CWI's role as a regional leader.
West Indian speedsters Shamar and Alzari Joseph have made strides in the latest ICC test rankings released on Wednesday. Jack Matthew reports.
Shamar has climbed 6 places to 29th in the world. In the 2 test matches against Australia in the current series, the Guyanese has captured 14 wickets, including 9 in the opening encounter. Like Shamar, Alzari jumped 6 spots, leaping to 31st after grabbing 8 victims in the 2 games. The number 1 position is held by Jasprit Bumrah of India. As for the batting, Sportsmax reports that England's Harry Brook reclaimed the number 1 spot. Brook displaced his teammate Joe Root after scoring a masterful 158 in the 2nd test against India in Birmingham. In the same game, India's Shubman Gill became just the 2nd player in history to post 150-plus scores in both innings of a test match, and as a result, ascended 15 spots to a career-best 6th place. Another monumental achiever, South Africa's Wiaan Mulder, rose 34 spots to 22nd. Mulder's massive jump followed his unbeaten 367 against Zimbabwe, the highest test score by a South Africa. The highest West Indian batsman is Craig Brathwaite at 56th in the world. Jack Matthew, ABS Sports.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.